2023 Big Z Sports 2-A-Days rolls on. Now we are at Fairless High School for the Fairless Falcons. Joe Geckler, Nick McWilliams. And Nick, Fairless is a new team to Big Z Sports. We just brought them on last year, and they had a great season. 9-3, 4-2 in the pack. They lose to Perry in the second round of the playoffs in Division 5, Region 17. AJ Sarbo in his sixth season, 32-21, 3 playoff appearances, and they had a tremendous season last year, looking to build on that.
Yeah, they definitely are, and I'm happy to be back here in Navarre. This has been a long time since I've been here at this stadium. Actually, since I was in high school was the last time I was at this stadium. Coach Sarbo and his staff, they really like to run a very tightly organized ship, and that's probably part of the reason with that 9-3 mark why they got to that point. Losing to Perry in the playoffs, obviously a heartbreaker for them in the second round, but it's Perry. It is what it is, but I know that it's not where this team is going to be satisfied with stopping, and I know they've got a lot of returners who have that bad taste in their mouth from last season and want to improve upon it, and it all starts under center with Carson Colucci.
Absolutely. You took the words right out of my mouth. Carson Colucci, the signal caller, the senior leader for the Falcons, 2,536 yards, 29 touchdowns, 8 interceptions, ran the ball for almost 500 yards on the ground, 7 more touchdowns. Oh, yeah, he played defense, too. 28 tackles, an interception, a fumble recovery. Kind of did it all for the Falcons. He is back and leading this offense this year for the Falcons, as well as Peter Killey and the speedster Andy Gill at wide receiver.
And something else that this team has going for it, it's similar to last year's squad as well, but on both sides of the line, offensive and defensive line, they've got some size. They got good, solid size on either side, which is going to help them a lot. We know this is a team that is not afraid to spread it out, but they are also not afraid to run in between the tackles. You're going to get a nice mix of those two aspects when it comes to Falcons football, and they're going to need it. They're going to need it to build upon a season last year in which they had 9 wins. You got to have that great balanced attack, and Coach Sarbo and staff are great ones to get them to do that.
Well, we will be here week 1 as they take on Sandy Valley, of course, on a Thursday night, the 17th of August. That will be the kickoff to Big Z Sports play-by-play season. And, of course, the following night on Friday will be just down the road a little bit. We'll be at another game on Friday. So a busy first week of high school football coming up, and it gets started right here at Fairless High School for the Falcons and Cardinals in week number 1. We're going to take a break, come back, we'll be joined by head coach AJ Sarbo. That's after this with Big Z Sports. Welcome back to Fairless High School. Joe Geckler with head coach AJ Sarbo, the Fairless Falcons. And, Coach, here we are. 2023 football season back upon us. It feels like we were just wrapping up the high school softball championships, and here we are, football season already. So, it goes by really fast. I guess they say time flies when you're having fun. But, Coach, coming off a 9-3 season last year, you were 4-2 in the pack and got knocked off by Perry in the second round, as a lot of teams did in the playoffs last year. But talk to us about that season and, your senior class that left you one final time.
Yeah, we had a great group of seniors, 13 guys. 4 of them were 4-year lettermen. The other 9 were 3-year lettermen, so they played a lot. They leave Fairless as the most successful class in school history with the most wins in their 4 years, I believe 28. They won 2 Pac-7 titles back-to-back. We hadn't won a league title since '79, and they won 2 in a row, won the first home playoff game. So they did a lot of things that I think they're very proud of, that we're proud of. Great kids. We're going to miss them, but like you said, it's 2023, and it's time to turn the page.
Yep, 2023 is here, and a couple guys you have coming back, very familiar to Big Z Sports. Carson Colucci, your quarterback, almost 2,600 yards passing, 29 touchdowns, almost 500 yards on the ground. Oh, yeah, he played defense, too. 28 tackles, interception, fumble recovery on defense. You have Peter Killey, your very talented running back, coming back. And, of course, the speedster Andy Gill at wide receiver. Lots of skill, lots of talent coming back offensively for you.
Yeah, we're very fortunate. Carson will be a 3-year starter, and I think Carson's excited to leave his mark. Now he started since he was a sophomore, but now it's his turn to be the leader and really run the offense, and everything goes through him. And kind of the same with Peter Killey. Obviously Brody and Luke both had over 1,000 yards receiving last year, but Peter had over 800 rushing. So he's going to have a bigger role. And like we just talked about, Andy Gill's a guy who has been behind Brody and Luke, who's waited his turn, who had a good junior year, caught some passes, but obviously he's going to get the ball a little bit more this year. So I think all 3 of those guys have played a lot of football, but they're all excited for the bigger role that they get the opportunity to have this year.
Looking at the 2023 schedule, it's the same exact schedule as 2022, except you just flip home and homes. So you start off with the Sandy Valley Cardinals right here on a Thursday night, 8/17. And, of course, Big Z Sports will be here. That's our first play-by-play game of the year with Sandy Valley and Fairless. You have Tusky Valley, Claymont at Triway. 3 games straight on the road to kind of finish out the first half of the schedule. You have Northwest at home as you get into the meat of that pack schedule. But the schedule very familiar to last year. You got a couple games probably circled on that schedule that you want to kind of get back from last year. But talk to us about your schedule.
Yeah, I think everybody we play is well coached. We start off with Sandy Valley, and I think they'll be really good this year. Coach Gamble's got 22 guys back that started like literally every position, and that's always a tough opener on Thursday night. We respect them for what they do and how they play and how they coach. I think Coach Dickerhoof does a good job at Tusky Valley, and they'll be older. You know, they played a lot of young guys last year. Coach Henry at Claymont, they're getting better every year, you know, so those are 3 good non-league games for us. Then we go to Triway, which is always a tough place to play at to start league play. Then we're finally back at home with Northwest, which Coach DeMarco's been coaching forever. They always have good numbers, good skill, good size up front. And then we go to Orville, who got hot at the end of the year, beat CVCA, beat South, shared the Pac-7, who we played in the playoffs. So they've got a lot of guys back as well. That'll be a challenge. Come home to CVCA, who's always well coached, very physical, and they've got a lot of guys back. Then we go to Canton South with Poochie Snyder. They'll be very talented. And then week 9 and 10, you know, we said 3 of the first 4 on the road, but then we're home week 9 and 10. Manchester has a new coach, Kevin Stacy, who I'm sure will do a good job. And then we finish with Tussle on the Blue Cup at home with Coach Gulling. So 10 quality coaches, 10 quality programs. You have to bring your best every week to have a chance to win.
Coach, as you look over the success that you guys have had over the last few years, and you get a new group of kids in here that are getting a lot more playing time, a lot more, it's like you said, it's their time to shine a little bit. How do you keep those guys grounded and not thinking like, oh, well, they were 9-3, we're going to be 9-3, or we're going to be 11-0 or 10-0? How do you keep your team humble and focused on the task at hand?
Well, I think you kind of already talked about it. Like, the guys now, it's their opportunity to start. Like, this is their senior year. Like, everybody talks about if you're on a good team as a sophomore or junior. But in all honesty, like, your favorite year, the year you're going to remember is your senior year. Sure. So for these 11 seniors, like, this is their opportunity to lead. This is their opportunity to leave a legacy, you know, possibly have another home playoff game, win a 3rd league title, leave with the most wins in a class. So each year, you know, becomes a bigger challenge and you have that target on your back. But I think now it's almost more fun, more challenging because those seniors had played for so long, and now these guys are getting their opportunity to play. So they're hungry. They want to get better every day. They want to get coached. They want their opportunity on Friday night. So it's just a different vibe. I think our kids are confident. They believe in what we do, but like I've said a couple times now, it's their opportunity. They're not on the sidelines, or they're not on special teams, or they're not the backup. They get to make the plays now, and they've worked their butt off, whether it be conditioning in June and July or the weight room at 6 in the morning. Like, they've put the time in, and now it's their opportunity to lead and leave their mark on the program.
Myself and Travis McClellan have talked all offseason about Carson Colucci and how great of a quarterback he is, but he did some great things defensively, and Travis and I kid each other in the offseason. He's going to line up on defense and go, who the heck are you guys? Because 10 starters are gone from last year on your defense, but Carson's there. He's the mainstay. He's the leader out there. How do you prepare him to be that leader on the defensive side of the ball as well as the offensive side of the ball?
He's doing a really good job defensively. He's getting guys lined up at corner. You know, sometimes he's more on an island, so he doesn't have that vocal piece like in the huddle at quarterback, but he's getting our guys in the back end going. I think him and Andy Gill, who played a lot at weak safety for Luke Yoder, and then we'd sub guys out. Andy didn't start, but he played probably about 80% of our snaps. Colin Sullivan started at D-end. Xavier Collier played a lot as well. So we don't have guys that necessarily started, but we have guys that had a lot of time. Alan Harrison's another guy who started at strong safety the last 5-6 games. So we've got experience back. It's bringing those other young guys along, and those seniors and juniors that we just talked about have to be a little more vocal this year and get those guys going, which I think Carson and Andy and Country are doing a really good job.
Well, Coach, obviously starting your sixth season, we appreciate you and what you allow us to do with Big Z Sports. Come out here. We added you on last year, and we had so much fun talking to you and following your program. And we thank you so much for letting us come out, check out 2-a-days. Beautiful new school behind us, of course, and doing some demo in the background back there. You probably heard that earlier. But thanks so much for letting us come out, and it's great seeing you. And we'll see you week one.
We appreciate it. Thanks for starting to follow Fairless last year. I know our kids loved it, our community loved it, the school. So we're very appreciative for what you guys do for high school sports and the following we get, because it's awesome. You guys do an outstanding job. So thank you for all your coverage of Fairless.
Thank you. We'll see you week one, of course, on that Thursday night as they host the Sandy Valley Cardinals. For Coach AJ Sarbo, I'm Joe Geckler. We'll be back with Nick McWilliams after this with Big Z Sports. Big thanks to AJ Sarbo for joining us in the last segment to talk about his Fairless Falcons. Joe Geckler, Nick McWilliams back here at Fairless High School for our 2023 Big Z Sports 2-a-days. Again, wrapping up another school, but very optimistic, very energetic. AJ Sarbo as always.
Yeah, and you know, I think it's always important to have that hype or have that excitement coming into a season, but also at the same time kind of, I don't want to say hedging expectations, but keeping everybody on the ship, keep going in the right direction. You know, 9 wins is something that is very difficult to achieve, and honestly, few teams during a season are able to achieve those kind of numbers. You have to keep that in perspective. You have to realize, you know, that's not guaranteed. We have to come out here and work, and these kids have been working on very hard today from what we've seen. I know they've been working hard all off-season long to try to keep and improve upon that. Excited to see what they can do this year.
Again, we are with the Fairless Falcons on our 2-a-day segment. Big thanks to Nick McWilliams, Adam Saweski, as he is behind the camera today for us. Also, don't forget to check us out on social media, Facebook, WTUZ, Big Z Sports. You can find us on X, also known as Twitter, at Big_Z Sports. You can check us out on Instagram and, of course, on YouTube, where all of our live play-by-play games will be live streamed this year as they were last year and I believe the year before that. So we are on YouTube, have a huge social media presence. Make sure you check it out, and you will find Big Z Sports and all the coverage you need of all the teams in our area. Again, for Nick McWilliams, I'm Joe Geckler. We'll see you at the next school.